اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. If I told you what are nawasib al-fi'l al-mudari', what would you tell me? Nawasib al-fi'l al-mudari', yes. Fi'l al-mudari' is present tense verb. What is the nawasib al-fi'l al-mudari'? Yeah, but what are they? What does it mean? It means the tools that turn a fi'l mudari', present tense verb, that is by default in the status of rafi', it'll put it in the status of nasb. What's the difference between rafi' and nasb? Going back to the beginning of this whole thing.
Rafi' would mean it's the main character in a sentence. Nasb would mean it's like a secondary character.
Yeah, but for verbs that doesn't work. There's another thing that I added. Rafi' means it's untainted. It's the main character, it's untouched, it's not changed, it's not affected by anything. Nasb means either a secondary character or a primary character that's been affected by external source. And this is exactly the example that I meant by it. So you have any verb, any present tense verb is a main character in a sentence, but it's been affected by an external source. And here is going to be a nasb, right? And it changed it. So it turned it from being fi'l mudari' marfu' to fi'l mudari' mansub. So nawasib al-fi'l al-mudari', the tools that cause a fi'l mudari' to go from rafi' from marfu' to mansub, change of status. How many have we talked about so far? Give me the four. An, lan, kay, not key. Yes, it is your bad. What's the one after that? Lam al-ta'leel. Right? So, what did I tell you an would represent in the sentence?
That pronoun will.
Yeah. What does len mean? Yes. What does kay mean?
So that, or in order for.
What's the other one?
Or in order for.
Yeah. What is li for?
For the reason.
Yeah. Because? Alright, so K and li are very similar. They have similar meanings, almost identical, but they're similar meanings. N and len are a bit different. Alright? Now, I'm going to add one more meaning just for your own benefit, inshallah, in the Quran. An, you know Surah Al-Hujurat? أن تحبط أعمالكم وأنتم لا تشعرون. Right? So what is the ayah? How does the ayah begin? يا الذين آمنوا لا ترفعوا أصواتكم فوق صوت النبي ولا تجهروا له بالقول كجهر بعضكم لبعض أن تحبط أعمالكم وأنتم لا تشعرون. So the ayah is saying, oh, those who believe, do not raise your voices higher than the voice of the Prophet ﷺ, and do not call upon him openly like you call upon yourselves as if he's your buddy. As you call upon yourselves. أن تحبط أعمالكم. And then after that, أن تحبط أعمالكم. تحبط أعمالكم. This means your deeds will be rendered useless, meaning you will not be rewarded for your good deeds. Right? So أن, what does أن mean?
In order to not to.
Aywa. So what this ends up meaning in Arabic here is hatta la. In order for something not to happen. So an sometimes will be that the pronoun will, and sometimes it will mean in order for something not to happen. And that is very, very widespread in the Quran. The Quran is filled with and that means that specifically. And if you don't know that n is used for that, then the sentence is making no sense to you at all. Give me an example for n that doesn't mean that. I'm gonna go. How many do you have left? We only have a couple left. Okay. So give me examples of n أفتطمعون أن يؤمنوا لكم. Do you have the desire or the ambition أن يؤمنوا لكم, that they will believe in you? So that pronoun will, that they will, that something is going to happen, that something is going to happen in the future. But sometimes an will be used as in hatta la, in order for something not to happen, or in order for something not. So don't raise your voice over the voice of the Prophet ﷺ. Do not call upon him like you call upon yourselves publicly. Why? In order for your deeds not to be rendered useless. So and sometimes can have more than, and that is just an example of how these prepositions can have sometimes multiple meanings. And these meanings, they're not endless, they're not countless or limitless meanings, but there are many meanings. The point of studying grammar is not to understand all the meanings. The point of studying grammar is understanding something a bit different. We're not diving into the meaning of every single word. But I will give you examples of stuff like that when I feel like it'll make a big difference in the way you're going to be able to view the word. But that's very good. So hatta la is what it means quite commonly. Can you get me something to right over there? It's right over there. Jazakallah khair. Thank you. All right. So what? So I didn't count the Nazim talked about idhan, and I told you forget about idhan. Idhan is not a very common nasib, and we're not going to talk about it. What's after lam al-ta'leel? It's something called lam al-juhud, right? So lam al-ta'leel, and this is the lam al-ta'leel. The causative lam, it talks about the cause or the reason for something. Lam al-juhud is something very different. لم يكن الله ليغفر لهم ولا ليهديهم طريقا. So there's a لم يكن الله ليغفر لهم. God was never going to forgive them. It was never going to lead to forgiving. And this is called lam, this lam over here on that does nasib, is called lam al-juhud. It's a very difficult one to understand. I'm not going to give you any more examples. I'm not going to explain what it means exactly in English. But I'm just telling you that it exists. It's called lam al-juhud. Right? So it's exactly like this, lam, but this is called lam al-ta'leel. There's another one called lam al-juhud. The lam that denies something. It denies what's going to happen next. It denies it, does not give a reason for it, it denies it. And there's a lot of examples for that, but it's just it's a complex term in Arabic that I don't think we're ready to start talking about. Another example, وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعَذِّبَهُمْ. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعَذِّبَهُمْ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was never going to punish them. So what you see, in order for lam al-juhud to work, you have to have something that denies at the beginning of the sentence. And then there's some form of the verb kun. Yakunu, kana, something like that. Which makes it very complex. So it's like a package. Denial, something that lam, something that will deny, and then some form of the verb kana, and then the lam of juhud. And what it turns out to mean is something was never going to happen. It was never going to turn out like that. That's the that's the figure of speech that this ends up meaning. That this was never going to happen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was never going to forgive them. وَلَا لِيَهْدِيَهُمْ طَرِيقًا, or to guide them their way. Talking about the munafiqeen who accepted iman, refused in the amanu, ثُمَّ كَفَرُوا, ثُمَّ آمَنُوا, ثُمَّ كَفَرُوا, ثُمَّ آمَنُوا, ثُمَّ كَفَرُوا, going back and forth, ridiculing the faith. He would never forgive them for that. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعَذِّبَهُم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never have punished you. وَأَنْتَ فِيهِمْ, as long as the Prophet ﷺ is amongst you. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ مُعَذِّبَهُمْ هُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. He would never punish you as long as you are making istighfar. So these are examples of how that would work. Okay. Again, this is a usage that is very complex and we don't need to study it. Yes?
But you would roughly say it means will not?
Yeah, so the package would turn into
like, you know, for example,
there's no lam there though.
Lam in the very beginning.
Yeah, lam, that's lam. It's not the lam. So what you end up with is either lam or ma or la, and then some form of the verb kana, yakunu, yakun, takun, and then a lam before a verb. All this together would end up meaning that this was never going to happen. Something was never going to happen. This package, and that's what it means. A part of it is something that is denying, something that's and then a certain time tense of the verb kana or yakun, and then lam al-juhud. So it's three things. That's why it's very complex. That's why I don't want to go into too much detail with it. You can just leave it at is. If you're interested in understanding more, I'll explain it to you inshallah, separately. But for the purpose of this review, it's a very complex term. Like we don't need to start going into these things. Number 7, hatta. Hatta is important. There's a scholar who died, and one of the last words he said was, I am leaving this world and I'm still not totally certain what the word hatta means. he's a scholar of linguistics. قال ولم يشفى غليلي من حتى. Like, I'm still not totally happy or done with the word hatta. And that was the last words he says as he passed away. This is one of the most flexible terms in the Arabic language. It can mean so many different things that even the scholars of linguistics differ on the usages of the. It's very hard not to understand what it means when you have the context of the sentence, but it has so many different usages. And from a grammar perspective, it can do so many things that scholars of linguistics don't agree to it. So if scholars have died talking about hatta, their last words were, this word has driven me crazy, you don't have to spend too much time trying to understand it. But can you think of a usage of hatta in the Quran? Very good. Thank you. Good job. I'm going to add this to the 10 juz' thing, by the way. So you give me more examples, you get more points. So turn your brain on. Hatta yahkum Allahu. So when the son of Yaqub, the eldest son, said, I'm not leaving Egypt until because Benjamin was taken, and he was like, I can't go back to my father with I already let him down once. Hatta yahkum Allahu li. Until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a judgment regarding me. Am I going to be forgiven? Can I go home? What's going to happen? So hatta is the nasib, and yahkum is a fi'l mudari', is a present tense verb mansub. What is the marker of nasib for this one? Fatha. Remember? So yahkuma. What does hatta mean here? Until. So when hatta means until something happens, it's going to be a nasib fi'l mudari'. That's the simplest way for me to put it. I can't think of an easier way to. حتى تأتيهم البينة. Perfect. So حتى is the now what is the present tense verb that's after حتى here in your example? تأتيهم البينة. What is the marker of nasb for that verb? Yeah, the fatha on the ya. So ta'tiyahum, right? Ta'tiyahum al-bayyinah. Very good. So there's a lot of examples in the Quran when it means until they get the clarification. Hatta ta'tiyahum al-bayyinah, until the clarification comes to them. If it means until here, because again, scholars differ on the meanings of the word hatta. Okay. The one after that the Nazim, the Imam who wrote this text talked about was al-jawab bil-fa or al-fa. So example for that, لا يقضى عليهم فيموتوا. Right? So again, this is a very difficult example. Can you think of a fa that made a fi'l mudari' mansub? Can you think of one? So the example I'll give you, think of fatakuna. Can you think of fatakuna? That's watakuna, isn't it? I believe it's a waw. Think of another one. So لا يقضى عليهم, talking about people in Jahannam. They will not be destroyed, meaning their lives will continue, they're not going to die. لا يقضى عليهم فيموتوا. They're not going to be destroyed so that they die. So that they die. So fa will mean so that something happens. Think. Yeah, that fa is not so that something will happen. That is it's called fa istinafiya, meaning or taqib. It's continuing. Something happened and something happened after it. But this has more of a causative relation to it. فأكون من المحسنين. Where is that in the Quran? Think. No, فأكون من المحسنين. Can you think of it? أن تقول نفس يا حسرة على ما فرطت في جنب الله وإن كنت من الساخرين، أو تقول لو أن الله هداني فأكون من المحسنين. Isn't that the ayah? Or am I mistaken? I'm making sure I'm using you guys to to correct me. أو تقول حين ترى العذاب لو أن لي كرة فأكون من المحسنين. Yeah, جزاك الله خير. That's the so. أو تقول حين ترى العذاب لو أن لي كرة فأكون من المحسنين. أو تقول حين ترى العذاب, or when it sees the person, when he'll say when they see the punishment, لو أن لي كرة, if I could just go back and repeat life again, فأكون من المحسنين, and then, so that I will be a muhsin. I'll perfect my religion and my practice. So the fa here means so that something will happen. And what is the marker of nasab on the word akun? What is the marker of nasab on the word akun? What is the marker on the nasab? How do we know this is mansub? How do we know the word akun is mansub? Fatha, fa'akuna, exactly. So this is only if it's yakununa, right? So the word akun, because the waw and noon is original in the word. It's not something that we added to the word itself. The waw and noon is going to be the marker of nasab and jazm when it's there and it's not there, or rafi' and nasab when it's additional. So if you took off the waw and noon, what are you left with? Fa'ak. There's no word. That's not a word. So this is original, but it has to be something added. An example for something added is the example I gave you before. لا يقضى عليهم فيموتوا. So Harun, what is the marker of nasab in this one? Yes, what do you say? Yeah, so the deletion of the noon. Very good. You're on the right. So here it's fayamutuna, but this is right. This is taken away. So this is a nasab. It is a tool that will cause a present tense verb to go from rafa to nasab. The marker of nasab is fayamut. Is taken away the noon. Fayamutu. It's not fayamutuna. That makes sense? Okay. Yeah. So that kun fayakun is not so that it will be. It's taqib. Kun fayakun, and then later on it will happen. So if there's no ta'leel, if there's no causality in it, then it's not going to be nasab. But if it's just something happened, then something happening after it, then something happening after it, then it's not going to cause it nasab. That's why the fa is a bit difficult. Because sometimes it'll have causality in it, and sometimes it won't have causality in it, or sometimes there'll be reasoning in it. Sometimes there won't be reasoning. So it depends on the usage. Okay. After that, the Nazm talked about waw al-ma'iyyah, talked about harf al-waw, and waw doesn't really. Again, I'm not going to put it up here because very rarely does it ever get used. There is no example for it in the Quran. Meaning the waw, for the waw to be a nasib of the present tense verb, we don't have an example for it in the Quran. I can give you some poetry. لا تنهى عن خلق وتأتي مثله. Don't tell people not to do something and then do it yourself. Right? So when waw means you're doing ma'iyya, meaning something happening alongside something else, like things are happening simultaneously, it will do nasb. But that is a very, very, very rare usage of the waw. So we're just gonna leave it until maybe a different time to talk about it. After that, aw. And aw also is a very, very rare usage for it to be a nasb. Aw is only a nasb if it means ila, if it means from something to something. And I don't know an example for it in the Quran. I can only give you some poetry. لَأَسْتَسْهِلَنَّ الصَّعْبَ أَوْ أُدْرِكَ الْمُنَى. لَأَسْتَسْهِلَنَّ الصَّعْبَ mean I will make everything hard easy. I will keep on overcoming difficulties. أَوْ أُدْرِكَ الْمُنَى. أُدْرِكَ الْمُنَى means I die. أَوْ أُدْرِكَ الْمُنَى is until the day I die. So when أَوْ means until, hatta, when aw means has the same meaning of hatta, then it'll be also a nasb. But that's a very, very, very rare usage. So I'm not going to put it up here as one of the nawasib. What we're left with, so that's everything that the Imam talked about. So al-Nazim, the scholar and the Imam who wrote this text, he has 3 or 4 that he added that their usages are very, very rare and difficult and more complex. The ones that you need to know are these: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You need to know these 6 nawasib. You have to identify them when you see them in the Quran. The most difficult of all is the fa. I know hatta has a lot of meanings, but anytime you see a hatta and after that a present tense verb is going to be mansoob. The difference amongst scholars are the meanings that hatta can have, not the fact that it causes the present tense verb to be mansoob. However, the fa is different. The fa sometimes will cause it to be mansoob and sometimes not, based on whatever meaning the fa is carrying in a certain sentence. But I need you to know these tools. So an, lan, kay, lam al-ta'lil, hatta, and fa, and know the meanings for them. And a good exercise for everyone is to go look for them in the Quran. And when you find them, you will see right after it is going to be a present tense verb that has either a fatha on it, or what's the other thing that could happen? Deletion of the noon. Jazakumullah khair. So keep that in mind. That how do we know that a present tense verb is mansoob? Either we see a fatha at the end of it, or we see the noon being deleted. Is there a third way for things to happen? Is there a third marker that can be identified? Is there? So example for the first one, liyaghfir is liyaghfira, so it's a fatha, right? Fayamutu is the deletion of the noon, right? So an ud'a, for example, right? What is the marker for this? What's the marker for ud'a? Yes, so an estimated, right? Estimated fatha on the alif. Right? So that's the only third situation that could exist. For nasb, it's either fatha, deletion of the noon, and if the word is at the end is an alif, then we can't put a fatha on the alif because the fatha is the son or the daughter of the alif, so there's no, you can't do it. So you estimate a fatha on top of it. So you estimate that there's a fatha there. Okay, so those are the 3 ways for us to know. All right. So an, lan, kay, lam al-ta'lil, hatta, and fa. They have different meanings. An means that something will happen, that someone will do something, right? Or it could mean in order for something not to happen. So it can carry those 2 basic meanings in the Quran. Lan means something will not happen, right? Kay and lam al-ta'lil, they both mean so that something happens, in order for something to happen, for the reason of, because of, so that this will go on. So ta'lil means causality. It's talking about reasoning. So there's a reason. These 2 are very important for fuqaha. They're very, very important. Why? Because they give reasoning. They tell you why something is happening. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you a command, and then if he uses lam or kay later in the sentence, he's telling you why he told you to do it. And if you understand why, then your understanding of this ruling is much deeper. And you can always regulate your practice of this ruling based on the reasoning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you. All right. Hatta means until something happens. And fa is that so that something will happen. Right? It's similar to K and Lam, but it's a bit, I put it on its own. Why? Because Fa can have a lot of different meanings. Some of them will be nawasib, some of them will cause the fi'al mudara to become mansub, and some of them will not, like kun fayakun. So not all of them will. It depends on the meaning it carries in the sentence. Okay. So we move on. And we'll go back. We'll come back once we're done the jawazim, and we'll give like 1,000 examples, inshallah, so that you guys are comfortable with it. Now, the second part. يقول الآجرومية رحمه الله والجوازم 18. And الجوازم. Now we talked about nawasib. All right. Nawasib al-fi'l al-mudara, the tools that cause the fi'l al-mudara, the present tense verb, become mansub. Now jawazim al-fi'l al-mudara. What do you think this means? The tools that will cause the present tense verb to become majzoom, right? Are there خوافض الفعل المضارع? Where there'll be خوافض الفعل المضارع? No. Can the fi'l المضارع be majroor? No. So a verb cannot be majroor ever, or مخفوض. So there's no خوافض. There's nawasib and jawazim. Is there روافع الفعل المضارع? Why wouldn't there be a روافع? Yeah, by default it's always marfu'. You don't need a rawafi'. It's going to be marfu'. We only need if we're going to leave the default situation. We're marfu'. If I'm going to be mansub, then something has to come externally and cause it. And if I'm going to be majzoom, then you also need something to come externally and cause it. All right. So what are jawazim al-fi'l al-mudara'? He says there are 18 jazim, which is a lot. And I won't talk about all of them because some of them are very complicated. But we'll talk about the basics ones that are very simple for us all to understand. So the first one, lam. I want you guys to give me the one by one from the text, okay? Because I'm not gonna go through. No, look for jawazim al-fi'l al-mudara'. I don't know. All right, the first one, lam. Something did not happen. Something didn't happen. What's the difference between lam and len? Len, something will not happen. Lam, something did not happen. And it's over. It didn't happen. It's done now. Did fulan come to the halaqah? Let's say we're talking about this halaqah here, right? So if I ask you, did fulan come? He's not here. Did he come? Then you would say, he did not come. In English. In Arabic, you would say lamma. You would say lamma ya'ti. He did not come yet. At 7:45, when this halaqah is over, I'll ask you, did fulan come to the halaqah? You will say lam ya'ti. Didn't come. Because it's over. It's done. So if we're talking about Salat al-Jum'ah, and I ask you, did your brother come to Jum'ah today? And he didn't. You'll say lam ya'ti. He did not come, right? But if we're talking about this halaqah that we're in right now, you will say lamma ya'ti. Because lamma means that it didn't happen yet. Meaning there's still time for it to happen. The time is still good. If he comes in right now, it'll be considered that he came to the halaqah. Understand the difference between the two words? So lam and lamma have very similar meanings, but the difference is very important. So lam means it didn't happen, it's over, meaning the chance for it is done. Lamma means there's still hope for it to happen. It hasn't happened yet, but it may happen later on, regardless of what we're talking about. So give me examples of lam. Yalla, come on, ya shaykh. Lam yakun alladhina kafaru, right? That's really hard for me to explain why, though. Oh, there you go. So Surah Al-Ikhlas, lam yalid wa lam yulad, right? So lam. What is the marker of jazm on yalid? Sukun. What are the markers of jazm, generally speaking, for a present tense verb? There are 3 markers of jazm that we're going to find. 3. What are they? First one is sukun. So either like this, yalid, right? You're not wrong, but you're not right. You're not wrong, but you're not right either. Hadf, yeah. So let's start with the simple. Hadf al-noon. Huh? Can you give me an example of hadf al-noon? Come on. Lam, and then like a verb that has a waw at the end of it, or لم يكونوا معجزين في الأرض, right? لم يكونوا معجزين في الأرض. So what is the marker of jazm here? It is the deletion of the noon. It's يكونون, right? So this was deleted. So the first marker is sukun. Second marker is deletion of the noon. The third marker is what you said. حذف حرف العلة. Right? Who can think of حذف حرف العلة for me? Yes. Yeah, the last letter is perfect. Yeah, so the vowel at the end is deleted. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. But can you give me an example of it? So in Surah Al-Hadid, ألم يأني للذين آمنوا. So what it's supposed to be is يأني. It's supposed to be يأني, right? But because this jazm is there, because it's causing jazm, how do you do jazm? And you have a, can you put a sukoon on a vowel? Can you put a sukoon on a vowel that is already second? It's already second by nature. So how do you put sukoon on it? So you delete it, right? So you get rid of it. So you delete this, right? And then you end up with it. So there's a ya here that's being deleted. So three markers for jazm in a present tense verb. Either sukoon, the deletion of the noon. The deletion of the noon is when is it going to be? It's going to be one of the 5 exceptional verbs, right? يفعلون, تفعلون, يفعلان, تفعلان, تفعلين. One of those 5 categories. Or if the word ends with a vowel, you delete the vowel at the end of it. Now I want you to think of examples. Give me examples. It's a lot of examples in the Quran. And then Mu'adh said kasra. Right? Mu'adh said kasra. So he wasn't wrong, but he wasn't right either. But he wasn't wrong. Yes. Very good. But it's not lam or lamma. You're right, that is jazm. But it's not, I want lam and lamma. Can you think of lam and lamma? I'm going to give you an example. If you don't come up with it, I'll give you one. Surah Al-Sharh, how does it start? Alam nashrah laka sadrak. Right? Alam. Alam. Lam and alam are the same. There's no difference. It's just one is a question, one is a statement. Nashrah. Right? And the marker of jazm is the sukoon. Alam nashrah laka sadrak, because lam does that. Yes. We just gave that example. I just took it out a second ago. Ya Sheikh. Think of something else. Yes. What are you talking about? What's the ayah? وَلَمْ يَعْيَ بِخَلْقِهِنَّ. You're right. بسورة الأحقاف at the end of it. وَلَمْ يَعْيَ بِخَلْقِهِنَّ بِقَادِرٍ على يحيى الموتى. Right? لَمْ يَعْيَ. This is really hard. Okay, whoever gets this, 50 points immediately on my imaginary folder. If you can tell me what the marker of jazm here is. 50 points immediately. What is the marker of jazm on ya'ya? Because lam is jazm, ya'ya, it means to understand, or sorry, to get tired. Min al-'ay, min al-ta'ab, for you not to get tired. So he didn't get tired, subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he created everything, right? So what is ya'ya? What is the marker of jazm on ya'ya? Yeah, so what is the harf al-'illa that is mahdoof? What is the vowel that is being deleted? Alif. It's alif. Yeah. So okay. So 25, 25. That way. So what it's supposed to be is, or sometimes they write it like this. Yeah. Right. So how you do jazm on an alif? It's already second. Already has sukoon on it. So you can't. So what you do is you delete it. So you end up yeah. Right? Lam ya'ya. So you give us the hardest one that possible in the Quran. Can you think of more? Alam yajidka yatiman fa'awa. Right? Alam yajidka. So the ka is additional to the actual word. This is where the word ends, and this is the sukoon. It's not yajiduka. It's yajidka. ألم يجدك يتيما. Very good. Lam. Did he not find you an orphan? Were you not an orphan? So lam, it did not. Lamma. Who can give me more examples? أم حسبتم أن تدخلوا الجنة ولما يأتكم مثل الذين خلوا من قبلكم. ولما. Yeah, so lamma or lam, either of them work. But I want ولما يأتكم. Or did you think you were going to enter Jannah? وَلَمَّا يَأْتِكُمْ مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ خَلَوْا مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. And the difficulties that the people before you went through have not come to you yet. See, لَمَّا yet. It hasn't come to you yet. You have not gone through everything that the people before you have gone through. You want to enter Jannah and you have not persevered the way the Sahaba persevered. You want to go to Jannah, you don't want to go through what the Sahaba, and what came to the Sahaba has not come to you yet, meaning you have not experienced something similar to it yet. It's a very interesting ayah in the way that it's, So what is, before you give me examples, what is the marker of jazm on ya'tikum? Where does the word end, first of all? Yeah, so the kaf and mim is additional, correct? So what is the marker of jazm on ya'ti? So there's a vowel here. It's supposed to be ya'ti. But that is a vowel. You can't, you do jazm on a vowel, you delete it. So we took out the vowel, so ya'tikum. It's not ya'tikum, it's ya'tikum. Correct? Yalla, give me another example, yes. Alam nanhaka anil alamin. So what is the, so alam, nanhaka was told to Sayyidina Lut alayhi salam by the people, alam nanhaka anil alamin, did we not tell you not to bring any outsiders, or not to talk to people about the faith? Nanhaka, did we not already do that? There's no yet in it. But where does the word end? Where does the verb nanhaka end? Yeah, so the kaf is additional, right? Now tell me, Mu'adh, what is the marker of jazm on this word? Yeah, so what is it supposed to be? Right? Nanha. So we delete the vowel. Nanhaka. Very good. Yes, Muhammad. Okay, yes, go ahead. So what's after lamma here is not a present tense verb. It's a past tense verb. Lamma ra'aw. So it doesn't do the same thing. This only works for al-fi'l al-mudari'. Only for a present tense verb. Give me another one. Yes, alam ya'tikum. We already did that one. How many times do you want us to do the same thing? Yeah. Anyone? I'm going to give you one difficult. Does anyone have any more? Lamma. That's the hard one I wanted to give. So give me give me another one. Yes. Very good. I was hoping someone would give me Surah Al-Fil. Alam tara. Did you not see? So what is the marker of jazm on the word tara? Yes, Muhammad. So it's supposed to be tara, an alif, right? And then we delete it. That's the marker of jazm for alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka. What else? All right. So the example the brother gave, which is something I want, وَلَمَّا يَعْلَمِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا مِنْكُمْ وَيَعْلَمَ الصَّابِرِ وَلَمَّا يَعْلَمِ اللَّهُ, or وَلَمَّا يَدْخُلِ الْإِيمَانُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ, because it's a very beautiful ayah. Don't say the Arab, the Bedouins of Arabia, who accepted Islam basically after the party was over, like after Islam had already become very, very, very powerful within Arabia. They decided to accept Islam and they call themselves mu'mins. قالت الأعراب آمنا قل what? لم, right? تؤمنوا. You did not become mu'mins. What is the marker of jazm on the word tu'minu? Deletion of the noon. Very good. So it's supposed to be tu'minuna, but it's taken away. قل لم تؤمنوا ولكن قولوا, but however say aslamna, we've entered Islam. ولما يدخل الإيمان في قلوبكم, And iman has yet to enter your hearts. So you see the word yet, it's always there when you were there lamma. So iman has not yet entered your heart. Now, what is the marker of jazm on the word yadkhul? What would the marker of jazm be? What would it be? Yadkhul. No, don't read the ayah. What would out of the three markers? Either sukoon, deletion of the noon, or deletion of the vowel. What would this be? So deletion of noon. Is it deletion of the noon? Is it deletion of the vowel? Is there a vowel here that's not there? So what's the left? So sukoon. These are the three markers of jazm. Only three markers. So it's supposed to be walamma yadkhul. Now here's a problem. There's sukoon on the lam here, right? And this is hamzat wasl. It also has sukoon on it. And after it is lam that also has sukoon on it. Now the hamzat al-wasl is going to delete itself in the pronunciation of the word, so we get rid of it. But we're still stuck with two sukoon. We're still stuck with two sukoon. So what do we do? Because you have two sukoons in a row. Arabic doesn't work like that. English you can say st, st, right? Both silent letters in a row. Arabic doesn't work like that. You know, there has to be mutaharrik sukoon. You can't have two sukoon in a row. So what do? You give an artificial kasra to the first sukoon. You give an artificial kasra to the first sukoon. So it becomes walamma. How do you guys memorize this ayah? Walamma. Yes, yadkhulil imanu. This is not a real kasra, because this is an artificial kasra. This is a kasra that was given out of necessity because you had two letters that have sukoon on them, and they're going to be stuck together. You have to move one of them. One of them, you have three actually in a row. You have to get rid of one and then give a mini vowel to the other one. So what do Arabs do all the time? They give an artificial kasra for the first one, and you'll see a lot of that in the Quran, a lot of it. Because you may say, because I remember when I gave these same lectures a long time ago in a different place, I showed someone, I told that you cannot do, there is no present tense verb that can be majroor. That's what I said. So he said, no, you're wrong. He was a kid. You're wrong. وَلَمَّا يَدْخُلِ الْإِيمَانُ. See, yadkhul has a kasra on it. You don't know what you're talking about. So I had to sit down and explain to this young brother that this is not majroor. This is an artificial kasra. It's supposed to be a sukoon because it's majzoom. Are you guys with me, or did I lose everyone here? You guys understand the idea here? So this is an added kasra. It's not an actual kasra. Meaning it's not a kasra that is a marker of anything. It's just a substitute. It's like the sukoon and the kasra, they tag in and out, right? So the sukoon comes in and it finds, oh, I can't be here. So tag kasra is you're up, and then the sukoon goes away. So kasra is just a substitute for sukoon whenever there's too many silent letters in a row. When there's too many silent letters in a row, you have to move one of them. So you move the first one with a kasra, and there's a lot of that in the Quran, like a lot.
Like fajr, like is that an automatic kasra?
No, the fajr is not I'm talking about present tense verbs. So specifically present tense verbs. I'll give you an example. لم يكن الله. لم يكن الله. This is really, really difficult. What is the, again, 100 points, anyone can tell me what the marker of sukoon on this is? Or how did we end up with this word? How did we go from yakun to yakuni? No, there's no waw at the end, is there? You would be right if there was a waw at the end, but there's no waw at the end.
Similar reason where there's like there's a sukoon on the noon, but then because there's hamzat al-wasl, I think on the alif, then because of that it has to.
And where's the waw? Why isn't yakun? All right. So it's supposed to be yakun. So if you take the word yakun and you put a jazm before it, you put one of the ones that cause jazm, that cause it to be majzoom. So what is the marker of jazm going to be on the word yakun? No, it's not going to be the deletion of the waw automatically. What is the normal, what is the regular, one of the three things? Either deletion of the waw at the end, Is there a waw at the end here, noon at the end to delete? No. This is a part of the word itself, right? Can we delete the harf? Is there a vowel at the end for us to delete? No. So what's the only thing left? Sukoon, right? So it's supposed to be sukoon. Now what do we end up with here? Listen to this. You guys are going to, if you miss this, you're going to understand. What you end up with here? 2 sukoons in a row. Arabs don't like 2 sukoons in a row. So what do? If the first one is a vowel, they get rid of it. So gone. Because you have 2 sukoons. Now it's lam yakun. Lam yakun. That's what it is. Now, the noon has a sukoon on it. But like the brother Abdullah said, then you have hamzatul wasl that has sukoon and a lam that has sukoon. Now you have 3 sukoons in a row. Another problem. So what do? We give a kasra, an artificial kasra, to the noon. So it becomes lam yakunillahu. You understand how that works? So this is the most complex example of jazm. And when you see a kasra, you know that it's not an actual kasra. It's not majroor. It's not makhfood. This is a substitution for the sukoon. Why? Because when too many silent letters come in a row, then you have to give an artificial kasra to the first one, so that the flow of the sentence or the flow of the words actually works out. All right. That was difficult. I'll give a lot of examples. Inshallah, it'll become easier as we go along. All right. What's the third jazm? What's the third jazm that we have? So we did lam and lamma. Alam and alamma. So he basically he just adds a hamza here, right? So whether it's lam or alam, whether it's lamma or alamma, makes no difference. All the same. What's the difference between them from a meaning perspective? What's the difference between them?
One is a question.
Yep, and one is a statement. So lam is stating something. Alam is asking, but there's no difference between them. Okay, what's after that? So those are the first 4. And then lamul amr. Yes, this is important. Lam al-amr. So we studied lam al-ta'leel, if you guys remember. The lam that brings the causality, that brings reasoning. This is lam al-amr. This is the lam that is there for command, to command you. Can you give me an example of that? لينفق ذو سعة من سعته. May the person who has wealth spend on his family from his wealth, right? So the lam here is lam al-amr. It's not saying the reason is people will be, no. The thing is لينفق, that may you do this. Meaning it's a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what is the marker of jazm on this fi'l mudari'? Sukoon, right? Or always remember, the markers are either sukoon, deletion of the noon at the end if it's one of the 5 exceptional verbs, or deletion of the vowel if it's a word that has a vowel at the end. Here it is the sukoon. So liyunfiq. That's why it has a qalqala. Yes, ya Mu'adh.
Would another example be lita'kulu, like min thamarihi?
Well, it depends on the ayah, because sometimes lita'kulu min thamarihi is a reason, meaning so that you may be able to eat, or it could be lita'kulu mean you need to eat. You must eat. So it depends on what the meaning is, right? The thing is that nasb and jazm in one of the 5 exceptional verbs is the same, right? You're going to delete the noon, so you won't know unless you understand the meaning of the. I'll give you another one to kind of scare you all. So, wanadaw ya Malik, liyaqdi alayna rabbuk. And they called upon Malik, the warden of Jahannam, لِيَقْضِي عَلَيْنَا رَبُّكَ. May your Lord destroy all of us and end this. Right? But is this lam al-amr or is this lam al-du'a? Yeah. So lam al-amr and lam al-du'a are the same thing. Why? The difference is just who's talking to who. So if someone who is stronger or higher is talking to someone who is lower than them, then it's lam al-amr. Then it's a command. But if you're telling someone who is higher than you, like your father, your mother, or your teacher, or your Lord, then it's not lam al-amr, it's lam al-du'a. You're asking, you can't, because you can't command Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you can ask Him to do something. So lam al-amr is better, is called with a better, is lam al-talab. The lam of requesting something that is used to request. So whether it's coming from a hierarchy, or is going from the weaker to the stronger, doesn't make a difference. So lam al-talab is a better way to call it. So لِيَقْضِي عَلَيْنَا رَبُّكَ, may your Lord destroy us. Now tell me, what is the marker of jazm on لِيَقْضِي? Yeah, so it used to be لِيَقْضِي, but then if you put a you kind of put a sukoon on something that's already second, so you delete it. So it becomes لِيَقْضِي عَلَيْنَا رَبُّكَ. لِيَقْضِي عَلَيْنَا رَبُّكَ. All right. There's not many examples for that in the Quran. Not too many. Just a couple. Okay, what's after that? What's in the matan? What's after that? Lam. La an-nahiyah. Nafi is very different. Nafi is something didn't happen. Yeah. Nahi is to command or to request something not to happen. So a talab, request to happen, request not to happen. So give me examples of lam and nahiyah. Think. Is there no la taf'alu, none of that in the Quran? The Quran is filled with ayat that have la and nahiyah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving commands. Give me examples. Give me the ayah. What is la taqulu? Give me, tell me. Yes, I can't hear you. لا تجعلوا الله عرضة. Give me something that you guys know. Surah Al-Baqarah, ya Sheikh. Give me something that's but it's not a present tense verb after it. Right? So you need a present tense verb and it's a command. Tell me. Also not what you memorize, but that's fine. All right. Well, give me from the surah that you guys know. So let's say لا تقولوا الذين آمنوا لا تقولوا راعنا. لا تقولوا. So لا here is saying do not say راعنا. Yes. Hold on a second. What is first of all tell me that, first of all, what is the marker of jazm in this word? Deletion of the noon. So it's actually تقولون and then they delete the noon. So it's لا تقولوا. Correct? All right. What was your example? No, that's not nahi. That's not telling you not to do something. Yes, go ahead. ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله. So the same wording here, right? Yeah, but that's very difficult. Let's leave that aside. I have to explain that. فلا تهنوا. Okay. فلا تهنوا. Tahinu means for you to become weak. Do not become weak, do not become scared, do not become cowardly. فَلَا تَهِنُوا. What is the marker of jazm in this word? Again, deletion of the noon. It's tahinuna, right? Deletion of the noon. Give me more examples. What else can we say? لَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا. Very good. لَا تَقْرَبُوا. You can see that there's going to be a lot of examples for this that come. What is the marker of jazm here? Deletion of the noon. Why have we talked about 5 examples, all of them deletion of the noon? Because most of the commands in the Quran that are requesting you not to do something come in group size. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks to the jama'ah. Don't do this as a group. Don't do. So it's always in jama'ah. When it's in jama'ah, it always is going to be one of the 5 exceptional verbs that talk to the Muslims in jama'ah. So لا تقربوا, لا تقولوا, ولا تظلموا, right? لا تظلموا أنفسكم. So الواو is also a is deletion. Give me one before we say. There's no verb there. There's no verb after it. Give me one that's not in a group form. So not. لا تقم. Perfect. So a good example is لا تقم. What is the marker of jazm here? Sukoon. لا تقم. It's supposed to be taqum, but just like takun, the same thing. We have to get rid of one of, so we can't have 2 sukoon in a row, so we get rid of the second one. Give me another one more. I can't hear. ولا تجعل يدك مغلولة إلى عنقك. Very good. So لا تجعل. What is the marker of jazm in the word تجعل. Yes, so لا تجعل ولا تبسطها. Right after it. ولا تبسطها, the also has سكون on it. كل البسط فتقعد ملوما محسورا. I will conclude with that. Inshallah, we will continue talking about next week. جزاكم الله خير. سبحانك وبحمدك. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.